Alex in Oklahoma. You're on the BetUS caller line. Thanks for your call.
Hey, guys. So I kind of agree with placing, like the Chanticleers and Louisiana in the polls because it's finally giving the smaller schools a little bit of respect because, they both had, pretty outrageous seasons. Now, whether or not they're repeat is something that we don't know of yet. But, finally after hearing the UCF chants for so long, they were finally giving them a little bit of respect.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good. I think if you're a top 25 worthy team, that it doesn't matter what your name is or where you're located. You should just be in the top 25. And it really ticks me off to a very minor extent because at the end of the day, it's just a college football poll. Mm-hmm. But I can write on my calendar right now the day that I'll be a little peeved off next season. It's when this poll will drop again, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, of course that team's higher than they should be. Why? Because of name brand value. So there's teams that definitely get bumps because of that, but there should absolutely be no demotions because of that. And it is harder for those teams to work their way in. And, the preseason poll does matter. Like, it does matter. It sets the table. It puts you in the lanes that you're driving in to start off the race. So you can start outside the top 25 and start the race a little bit later and still maneuver your way into a position of strength, but you got to ask for a few cars to wreck along the way. You got to ask to basically speed by every single person and never have to take a pit stop. You got to ask for a lot. So, as silly as it is, like, oh, well, this team's number 11 to start off with, whatever, doesn't matter, not a big deal. It does matter because they're already positioned at number 11, and all they got to do is win games, and they're set. Mm-hmm. Whereas other schools, they start out outside of it, and they literally have to win every game to have even a chance to get into the top 25, much less then make a massive jump. So, as silly as it is, I do hope voters take it seriously, and I don't know that they always do. I don't know that maybe all of them have enough of knowledge, and that's why you just see like a placeholder team in there at like 24 every single year. It's we got 2 spots left. Who should we put in there? Let's put Texas in there, just because. We've seen that happen before, definitely, or another big name brand team. So I'm glad to see those small schools. Yeah, give them a little bit to chew on, give them a little bit to get excited about.
254-339-1122, the number to call. Mike George just tweeted us, texted us. Said that, golly, it's when this text line, the way it sets up. Baylor has been to 25 bowl games. That is more than the following programs. And I don't know if there's too many on there. That's interesting. It's been more than Mississippi State's got 24. Kansas State, 22. Well, Kansas State was irrelevant, awful, and what Bill Snyder did is the most miraculous turnaround ever. And he almost did it twice.
Most of those have been since Bill Snyder set foot there. So.
I agree with you guys, but what program are we also talking about? About irrelevant and didn't matter and bottom of the barrel for like a couple decades. That was Baylor football.
Basically 17 years, no bowl game.
I'm not saying it's Bill Snyder level what Art Briles did, but Baylor is not without their history, to your point. They've been in some bowl games. They've won some conference titles, including 2 in the Big 12, which half the league can't say they've even won one. I think that the small stature, the Baptist influence is certainly a hindrance on any potential conference outlooks moving forward. Like the Pac-12 just seems like a total no-go to me because of the whole religion thing. But outside of that, I do think that among the 8, even though they might be smaller than Iowa State or Texas Tech or not have as big of an alumni base, if you're looking for success in sports, you're looking for somebody who's going to pony up money and who's going to be, staying ahead of the curve or at the top of the curve. You can guarantee Baylor's going to do that. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see them have a big rebound in football this year. It'll be tough, but I think they're primed for at least a bounce back.
From the 405 from Todd Lee in Oklahoma City, thoughts about Houston, UCF, and mentioned Cincinnati, Memphis. I've already put on, if the Big 12 survives, and if they do add 2 or 4 teams, I've made my 4, and I have no idea who they're talking to, if anybody. UCF, Memphis, Cincinnati, and Brigham Young. Now, they may not get any of those 4, and we don't even know if those 4 would want to be a part of it. But those are the 4 that I've thrown out there that I think at least could bring a little bit of zip and still maybe not enough to make a difference when it comes to any kind of network deal for a conference TV deal. Now,
I certainly don't think it would hurt to have TVs in Florida and Ohio, and
There you go.
I mean,
That's what I picked it for, yeah.
Cincinnati and UCF would be great for West Virginia to have them close by. I mean, I think all four of those would be fantastic. You'd spread out west, you'd spread out east. You wouldn't quite go from West Coast to East Coast, but you'd be pretty damn close there in Utah. There in Provo with BYU. But yeah, I mean, do the Cougars want to do that? They all say that, and the fans say that they want to join a conference, and yet we have no actual proof from the school itself that they would be interested in that per se, or at least now. But I like that group of four. I don't know how much money that would add, or if it would be worth the effort to bring them in. But I like that option a lot better than just taking the 4 Big 12 school or the 8 Big 12 schools and flipping them over to the AAC. I do prefer the Big 12 doing the poaching if at all possible.
All right, when we come back, Max Olson, the